Ah, the FIRE movement. Is this what you envision? Sitting on a palm tree on a deserted Caribbean beach, just wasting your days away in retirement because you've reached financial independence? Well, this is what a lot of people envision with the FIRE movement, but this isn't really how it works for most people. It's pretty windy out here, so we'll go back in the office in a minute. But I want to talk about some of the flaws that the critics of the FIRE movement like to point out. One, most people can't accomplish it. Two, you're going to run out of money, and then later in life you're going to have to go back to work because either the markets tank or you get some kind of a medical problem. You have to dip into your retirement funds, and then you don't have that 4% to live off of anymore. And going back to work in your 50s or your 60s or your 70s is not appealing to a lot of people. Another one is that you have to live such a life of frugality that you don't get to enjoy life while you're saving, and then you retire too early and you have to continue living a life of frugality because you didn't save enough and you tried to retire too early. So what we're going to talk about today is changing the acronym of the FIRE movement: financial independence, recreational employment. This makes way more sense. People don't really retire and just sit on a beach like this for the rest of their life. What they really do is they find that they have the time to do more meaningful things in their life, like a YouTube channel, like a blog, like charities, like starting a new business, or driving for Uber because you like to meet people, or just, not having to work, having that freedom to have the time to pick what you want to do in your life. That's what it's all about. And really not just retiring and sitting on a beach like this. So the recreational employment, I think that little tweak is going to make it so a lot more people can get on board with the FIRE movement. A lot of times I don't do a lot of research for these videos, but today I did the research, so I'm going to take you back into my office and I'm going to show you some screenshots. TD Ameritrade did a study of people in the FIRE movement and of their investors. There's 1,500 people in this study. So I'm going to take you in there, show you some of the habits of the people that have accomplished FIRE and people that are on the road to FIRE. And then we're going to talk about tweaking the retire early and changing that into recreational employment. And maybe the FIRE movement will finally be something for everyone. Okay, so I brought you back in here to my office. I thought that footage was going to sound worse because of the wind out there, so I wanted to get you in here, but it turned out okay. I just edited it. But anyway, we're back here in my messy office. I'm going to redo this soon, I believe, but here we are. And just in case you're new here, this is the retirementality. This is a place where I want to change your mentality about retirement. So we're going to hop in my computer here, and I'm going to walk you through this study. I'm going to just be looking at my computer while I do this. Okay, so like I said outside, this study was done by TD Ameritrade in October of 2018. They surveyed 1,503 U.S. adults over age 45 with over $250,000 in investable assets, and it included 753 people who are financially independent or who are on the path to be. All right, so they also interviewed 11 of the FIRE gurus, and I wasn't involved in that, so I guess they didn't know who I was. Actually, I wasn't doing this in 2018, so I'll let TD Ameritrade off the hook. Okay, so I'll pop in some screenshots while I go through this with you here. So here's the first one. This is a good shot. It says, FIRE is a social lifestyle movement characterized by working to obtain financial independence and retire earlier. So they first found out how many of these people were aware of the FIRE movement. 63% of them had never even heard of it. 11% had heard of it, and 26 of them knew the term, but not the concept. So that's interesting that 63% of the people had never even heard of the FIRE movement. So this is what I keep saying, that the FIRE movement with financial independence, recreational employment, it's all about the financial security and not having to work. That's the key. The financial independence is the key to the whole thing. And this screenshot here shows you that 74% of the people, they are doing FIRE because they want the financial security and peace of mind. 65% of them said they want the freedom to do what they want. Only 35 of them did it because they have a shitty job they want to get out of. 20% they want to get off the hamster wheel, and 5% of them to start their own business, which shows you they're not retiring, they're starting their own business. Hence recreational employment. So here, the top 6 things about why people are pursuing FIRE. And again, it's all about the time. 1, living a leisurely lifestyle. 2, spending time with family and friends. 3, time to pursue other passions. Not working was number 4 at 32%. Having related career, so then 13% want to have just a better job or something more fun. So a lot of these are related to time and still working, not retiring. So that's what most people's problem with this whole thing is, that you don't retire when you're 40. You just find something more fun to do. Okay, so here's another key factor. A lot of people say that to achieve the FIRE, and all the people in the FIRE movement are just so frugal and saving so much money that they live like they're just penniless poor people while they're trying to reach FIRE, and then after FIRE because they tried to exit the workforce too soon and they're trying to just live on what they can barely get by on. They also say that it's just ingrained in their brains because they've lived so frugally to get to FIRE that it's just second nature for them to live the same way in their retirement, which like defeats the whole purpose. Like this, you only get one shot at this thing, guys, and you got to have some fun along the way. So I'm all for short-term sacrifices for long-term gains, but not to the point that you're depriving yourself of travel or a healthy, good lifestyle and having some smiles along the way. So in this screenshot, they say most acknowledge it's worth it to sacrifice short-term, but with limits. So you can see here, the number one, live like I'm broke. Whether people are financially independent or not financially independent, they're all willing to live like they're broke to get to this goal, which is fine for a while. Live any trip. See then here, they're willing to forego travel and vacations. Not good. Becoming frugal in my daily life. Everybody could be a little more frugal. So the good things you can take out of this are cutting your expenses and saving more money. Whether you're on my FIRE with recreational employment or retire early or whatever, everybody should be able to cut their budget and save more no matter what. Even if you don't think you could ever reach FIRE, you'll be happier in your later years the more you can do that. So this slide shows a little bit what I'm talking about too. Like there's 5 different kinds of FIRE. There's lean FIRE, coast FIRE, barista FIRE, fat FIRE, FIRE. So this is just comparing lean FIRE versus fat FIRE. With lean FIRE, you try to retire on less than $1 million of investments. And with fat FIRE, you're doing it with over 2 million. I think the cutoff, they say if you're making over 100,000 off of your living, if you're making $100,000 off of your dividends or your investments or whatever, that puts you into the fat FIRE category. So this shows that 68% of the people are shooting for fat FIRE versus 32% shooting for lean FIRE, which those people are in for just a rude awakening in 10 years when they run out of money. Now I'll show you this slide. It says most attribute this additional investment income to dividends and annuities. This is another thing that I harp on in my version of FIRE with the recreational employment. Most people, the downing, what are they called? The doubting Thomases or the whatever. Most of the people who are against the FIRE movement say that it's just too hard to save $1 million. I totally agree with that. Most people are not high income earners. If you're in just an average income earner between $50,000 and $100,000, to save $1 million or $2 million or more to get to an early retirement just seems like it's impossible, and it probably is for most people. So what I keep saying, the way that I got to financial independence and now I have recreational employment, I have hit FIRE basically, and I did it through real estate investing. And as you can see on this slide here, most people are doing it with dividends. Everyone talks about the FIRE movement. They automatically assume they're investing in the stock market and living off of the dividends. I did it by investing in real estate and living off of my rental income. And I have 5 properties, I have 7 doors. I have a duplex plus 5 other houses. And I make an average of about $10,000 per house per year. So I'm making between $60,000 and $70,000 net off of the houses that I own. So, and I only spent like about $350,000 or so to get those houses. I never could have saved $2 million. That's what my real estate portfolio is worth. And and I'm making that 60, 70 grand. It's just so much easier, I think, to do it by buying real estate. I bought one house every year, and in 5 years, I was financially independent. These guys are living like they're so poor, they have to eat ramen noodles their whole life until they retire, and then they still have to eat ramen noodles. But anyway, this shows you how few people are doing it with real estate. Only 20% of the people have real estate in their portfolios, the ones that have hit FIRE, and only 6% of those who have not hit FIRE or financial independence. So this was an interesting slide, I think. So I'll just kind of wrap it up from here. I'll throw in this last slide so you can just see the demographics of who was in the study. Just if you're curious, I'll throw that slide in here. And I'll link to this study down below if you want to read the whole study. I skipped over a lot of it, but I just hit the high points, the parts that make my argument for me. So in a nutshell, the FIRE movement is great to teach people to live more frugally and to save more money no matter what words you want to put with the acronym. But I think if you think of it in terms of reaching recreational employment rather than reaching retirement, I think a lot more people can get on board with that concept. You know, I'm 47 years old. I don't want to just sit on that beautiful beach out there every day. I could if I wanted to, but I sit in here and I make these videos to help you guys get to where I'm at right now. Reaching financial independence is not that difficult. Buy one house, buy one house every year for 5 years. Maybe your market's different. Maybe it takes 3 years. Maybe it takes 10 years. Maybe you can buy 2 houses every year. Maybe you can buy one house every 2 years. Whatever it is, that is the easiest way to do it. And I think really a blended approach would be the best. You know, save half of your money into dividend paying accounts and then save the other half into buying real estate. Maybe you buy one house every 2 or 3 years and you put the rest of the money into the market and you grow both of those. Like that's now that I think I'm going to buy 1 or 2 more houses, but I'm starting now to put money into the market. Like, of course, I've been watching Tesla. I'm thinking, oh, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Every week I look back, I'm like, I should have bought it last week. So I finally bought it and it's gone down every single day since I bought it. So I don't know. You can't time the market. They say I'm in for the long term, so I don't really care, but it's frustrating. That's why I like the real estate side better. Don't watch my property values go up and down. Maybe my rent income does when things happen in the world that shut things down, but I digress. So financial independence, recreational employment, that is the new acronym. Let's spread the word. Let's get more people on board with this. Save more money, live more frugally, buy houses, and live on a tropical island like me. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you found value in this video, be sure you hit the like button on the video as well. And if you ring the little bell down there, you'll get notified when I put out another video. And please hop over to my other channel. I'm like 150 subscribers away from monetizing my other channel called I'll put it up here, How to Beach. There's a link at the end here. Just click that button. Also go over there if you like stuff about the beach, that pretty beach out there. I have lots of beach tours and I do beach gear reviews, things like towels and blankets and chairs and things you need for the beach. So it's a lot of fun over there. Go check out that channel. And thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video.